Garland, you know, we had such a great wild card weekend, and now we get the big boys, the #1 seed in action. What will we have this weekend?
They call it the best weekend of football of the season, Boom, and so far it hadn't disappointed.
Well, it certainly the first game was. The second one we're going to show you. And if you really like defense, like the defense you used to play for Tampa Bay and Baltimore Ravens and Seahawks like 10 years ago, et cetera, then you'll really like this. Here we go. The Pacific Northwest #1 seed, 14-game winning Seattle Seahawks against 13-game winning now San Francisco 49ers. Sam Darnold, how would he do? Niners, they're defying the odds. Everybody gets hurt. They play with such moxie. This is the opening kickoff. Rashid Shaheed acquired midseason general manager John Snyder. Thank you, John Snyder. That's it. A tripping penalty, 2 minutes. He could go all the way. It was 7-0, just like that.
And yeah, even the kicker couldn't perform the penalty to correct the triple. What a bad start by the 49ers.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Now first quarter, Niners 4-1. They're going to go. Kyle Juszczyk. For years, the Pro Bowl fullback, the pitch of Christian McCaffrey, but it's out of bounds. And so turnover on downs. You understood why they were trying it. Under 4.5 minutes to go first quarter. Purdy, Jake Tonjes. But Ernest Jones, the middle linebacker, calls the signals. He was all over as usual.
And this defense hunts the football like no other, Boom. They're always trying to rip it out and get it out. Dare I say, they are vengeance around the football.
And that's Julian Love. Playing for the defense, they call themselves the dark side. Darnold, but sacked by Malik Mustafa. Look, the Niners were as game as they could be.
You knew they were going to play their hearts out.
Sam limping after the sack. Remember, he came in with an oblique question. Darnold, the Cooper Cup, you wouldn't guess he'd be the leading receiver Seahawks in this game. He caught more than Smith and Jigba. Off play action later in drive. How good is this, though? Speaking of Smith and Jigba, zing. Doesn't get any better than that.
Oblique looked pretty good right there, dare I say, Boom.
Obladi, oblada. 17-0. The Seattle Seahawks both beat in bounds. He's unreal. Shifty, swifty, and the Seahawks in control. Purdy, so much better than most people will ever know. How's he throw it to Tonjes? First down, San Francisco. What would Kyle Shanahan and company have in their bag? Well, they got Christian McCaffrey, but he's going to be tackled short of the first down. At this point, kick a field goal, 17-3.
No doubt. Just try to put some points on the board, give your team hope.
Now 17-6, another field goal, San Francisco. The offense went kind of quiet in the second quarter until this. Shaheed, that guy again, end around, 30 yards, speedster, under 2 to go in the half. Darnold. They love this man, special teams. He's only caught a few balls all year. Jake with a great name, Bobo. First down, Seattle. Then Kenneth Walker. 100-yard game. He's going to have 3 touchdowns, including bang! 24-6, so they score right before the half.
2 big-time backs, Charbonnet or Walker. Take your pick.
Now 28 seconds left in the quarter. Purdy looking for McCaffrey, and he's hurt.
Yeah, he spent a lot of the first half chipping on the edge rushers, banging his shoulder over and over, had to get it checked out.
24-6. I mean, it's a freak of nature. I mean, he takes such a beating more than maybe anybody in the league because of his size and his use, etc. Now, early third quarter. Leonard Williams, 99. Hello.
He's been good for a long time, Boom. Been dominant this season.
And the Seahawks, they allowed the fewest points in the NFL. Darnold to Cup, 11 yards. It's a first down, Seattle. We're at third quarter, 3rd and 13. Now Darnold to JSN, picks up 11 yards, sets up a Meyer field goal, and it's 27-6. So, I mean, it's 3 touchdowns. You're not going to score it on them. You got to try. But Ernest Jones, we said he punches balls out, he calls the signals, and he intercepts. So there you go. His second takeaway of the game.
It's amazing, but when you get pressure on the quarterback, they make rush throws. You have good defenders with their eyes on the ball. They're always in the right spot. Ernest Jones having a huge season.
3rd and 5, Seattle now off the turnover. Darnold. K9, they call him. Kenneth Walker, number 9, makes the grab. First down. 2 plays later. Darnold. 2nd and 13. Cup. You know, he's a Triple Crown winner a few years ago with the Rams. People forget that.
He's an afterthought on this team.
Yep. And then Walker, he's not an afterthought. He's an end zone thought. Touchdown to the pylon, 34-6. The route's been on. It would continue to be that way. Late third quarter, minute to go. 4th and 3. You got to go. Purdy. It somehow escapes. You got he's out of bounds. Doesn't matter if they turn it over on downs. With the score 34-6, now 4th quarter. K9. Kind of like the dog sniffing out the end of the game, right? Here we go. A K9. 15-yard gain, continuing to run well. 3rd and goal from the, wow. That's a Seahawk salmon swimming upstream. I'm just coming up with this. He had 19 for 116. He goes in, it's 41-6. 3 touchdowns for him. Now 4th quarter. And we mentioned Leonard Way. I mean, the names, you don't even know that many of them, but you're going to. How about DeMarcus Lawrence? Has had a heck of a run. Nick Worry recovers the fumble. Their 2nd-round draft pick. They're all in on it.
And to me, DeMarcus Lawrence should be comeback player of the year. An outstanding comeback season in Seattle.
And so, look, it was not the way the 49ers imagined it. They could hold their heads high. But on this day, it was the Seattle Seahawks that from literally start to finish were just, well, they were the dark side indeed. 41-6. Lindsey Theory with Leonard Williams right after the game.
Multiple turnovers for your defense. How did you guys get to the Niners tonight?
I mean, honestly, I think we just have so much trust and belief in one another. We've been really holding down the title of the dark side this year. And what a better way to do it right now in a primetime game in the playoffs against a great team. Defense really showed out today.
So Seattle knows they will be home against, we don't know, obviously, as we do this show, the Rams against Chicago. Look, they call themselves the dark side.
Yeah.
Once they beat the Rams in that wild game, 39-38, it's been, whoa, their defense has been a different level. Look, to me, I'm going to say it now, reminded me of the Super Bowl, where the first play, the snap went over a few years ago, the Legion of Boom, the snap went over Peyton Manning's head. 2-0.
Yeah.
2-0.
Yeah.
Essentially, in retrospect, the game was over. First play of this game, kickoff return with that defense with an undermanned Niners. It was only 7-0, but the game was over.
You know, Boom, most of the time when you get a week off, you're afraid that there may be rust. So you don't necessarily want the rest because you're afraid of the rust. We didn't see any rust from the first play. Rashid Shaheed with the opening game kickoff return for a touchdown. John Snyder, absolutely great job making that trade. The speed that he adds to this team is unreal. This was a total domination. You come into this game worried about Sam Darnold's oblique. He only threw for 120 yards. They rushed for 175 yards. This was a complete team effort. Special teams, the defense is dominant, and the entire team feeds off how dominant the defense is. It's a physical team. They control the line of scrimmage, Boom. When this defensive line is hunting your quarterback, the entire team feeds it. 175 yards rushing. They control the line of scrimmage, and in front of that crowd, in that building, in front of those 12, this was as dominant of a performance as I've seen in the playoffs in recent history.
Well, listen, the running game, they want to run it to complement that defense.
Yes.
So the last 4, I'm going to ad-lib a little bit of it. What was today the rushing that they made as a team? Look, they made 180 2 weeks ago against San Francisco.
175 today.
It's 175 today. I think the game before that, Carolina, was like 173.
Yeah.
And the game before that was like 168.
Yeah.
My point is, and you're not thinking, oh, my God, they have the rushing champ. That's Cook. Or, you know. But that's what they want to do. It's almost like the offense says, no. We see that defense be that physical. We're doing it too.
And you forget, they got the guy that led the league in receiving in Jackson Smith and Jim.
Yes.
They didn't even unleash him today.
They put him in the backfield a lot.
Boom. This team can beat you any way that you want them to. If somebody's taking away the running game, and I know Sam Darnold had questions with the oblique, they can push the football down the field. Hey, Coach, what an outstanding job he's done in Seattle, getting this team. I'm not going to say misfit toys, but they brought in some free agents, DeMarcus Lawrence, some guys from the outside, and they got them all to play on one accord. Outstanding job by Mike McDonald.
Well, let's see. They won 10 last year but missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
This is now 15, so 25 in 2 years. People still don't really know about him. He is a defensive wizard like McVay and Shanahan and
To
pick
the
a couple
offense.
he's that way. John Schneider, GM, and we're going to go to the Niners here. Darnold, Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence, you mentioned. Shaheed, pick up at the Ted line. Cooper Kupp, maybe teach JSN a little bit, as good as he is about that. How about the draft? Well, they took Gray Zabel, who's their starting left guard from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
And North Dakota State, really, first round offensive line? Yeah. And that's where Imanwari, the second round pick. Like, they have, John Schneider and his staff have put together this team. They're coaching. I mean, you're going to beat them. You better have your game together. Look, San Francisco was as game as possible.
Yeah.
We can't say enough about the job that Kyle did, that John Lynch has done, and what the players have done, no matter who is out, the latest being Kittle, of course, and the fact that they got this far, won 13 games. Yeah. I know they're not going to the Super Bowl in their own stadium. It was impressive.
It's impressive. It's always been impressive. Kyle and John have done an outstanding job since they've been there. No matter who's able to show up and suit up on game day, they play hard, they play with effort. But here's the issue, Boom. We continue to see them, if they're healthy, they're going to get to the Super Bowl. When they're beat up, they struggle. But at some point, the window starts to close. Trent Williams is getting older. George Kittle is a year older. McCaffrey had almost 100 catches and over 100 rushes. Like, it's a lot of wear and tear on this team. At some point, they're going to have to figure out a way, how do we work smarter while also keeping our players healthy, where it comes the most important part of the season, we can have our better players. Too many seasons in for them with their best players hurt. At some point, that has to change.
Yeah, it does. And they're in a division where the Rams are obviously speak for themselves. Seattle, you just saw that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Tough to move in that. Now, the other game, the early game in the AFC, the number 1 seed, the Denver Broncos, who, what were they, 13-1 going into this game in the last 14 games and lost only 1 home game all year. And here come the Buffalo Bills. You know their story with Josh Allen. Is this the year? No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Burrow. They won their first game, and although they're going to have to do it on the road. So this was played at Mile High, right?
Yeah.
The game itself, I thought, was higher than a Mile High.
Agreed, yes.
And then who